when it comes to bags, yes, you will need it later on, but we can be very strategic and smart about where we place them and when we need them. Parenthood is challenging enough as it is, and getting organized sounds easier said than done. Now, combine these two together, and it's truly a balancing act that many of us struggle with day in, day out. If you're here, it's because you want to know how to get your life and home more organized and structured where the kids are involved too, so that parent life is a little easier and you can focus on what truly matters. Hey there, I'm 𝙤𝙤𝙢𝙤𝙤, owner and founder of One Tidy Place. I created this podcast because I know parents have their hands full. I know this because I have 3 kids of my own. Each week, we'll talk about all things organizing, teaching kids life skills, and contributing to the home, being on the same page with your partner, and raising your kids together while you tidy up, go out for a walk, or just need some real talk. I'm here for you. Thank you for tuning in. Are you ready? Let's do this. Well, hello. Welcome back to another episode of Parenting Guide, Organizing Habits Made Easy podcast. Thank you so much for being here. And I'm so excited to talk about today's episode because this is something that I've been observing in the last couple of years, working with clients and myself, seeing it personally with friends and family. And what I'm talking about are bags. But we're not talking about purses today. No, not this episode, because, I'm a purse kind of girl myself. I'm talking about the bags that all of us use, since many stores are no longer giving out plastic bags. It's been a while now, but I'm noticing since dealing with clients that it's still something that is hard, that's a little challenging, I should say, to wrap our heads around. And why do I say this? Oftentimes, and I'm saying this from experience too, we sometimes forget to bring bags with us to the grocery store, or any store for that matter. Look, back in the day, you didn't have to think about it because the stores provided a plastic bag for you. But obviously for environmental reasons and definitely protecting our planet a lot better, plastic bags are just a no-go. But from growing up, where the stores just automatically gave you a bag every time you left the store, regardless of the size of your item, they gave you a bag. So it was so convenient. Now we have to think about our own habits and the way we do regular daily stuff. And that is bringing bags with us to the grocery store or any store for that matter. Now, I'll be the first to admit I keep forgetting to bring my bags. Oftentimes, I end up going back to my car and getting my bags, or just sucking it up and keeping everything in the cart, then bagging all my things from the back of my car in the middle of the parking lot when it's minus whatever outside. Yeah, it's not fun. So that's kind of a lesson I learned, to never forget the bags. But it does happen. And I can imagine, now my kids are a lot older, but as a mom of toddlers or babies, it's a lot to think about. You got to carry the kid, you got to carry everything that relates to them, the diaper bag, your own purse if you have one, and now you got to think about your shopping bags. I do not envy the moms right now in that situation because there's so many things to think about already. It's really easy to forget about bringing a shopping bag when you go grocery shopping, right? So the normal tendency is to buy more. And that's what my podcast episode is about today. It's about all the shopping bags that we have, the ones that we keep in the closets, in the kitchen, around the corner, and the floors, even along the stairs, there are bags lined up. So this episode is about answering that question. How many shopping bags do I actually really need? Are you ready to dive in? Let's go. Are you planning a birthday party for your school-aged children? I've created a one-page PDF template for you to use at your next and future birthday parties, or for anyone you know that's hosting just in case poop hits the fan. And when it does, who's the go-to person? My guess, it's probably you. But you're busy answering and tending to all those who need your attention, your calm, and information. Someone's got to get hold of the guest's parents, but the contacts are in your locked phone, and your friends, your spouse, or your in-laws just want to help out. There's a lot going on and everything's now falling on your shoulders. I got you covered. Download and print my free PDF to include the names and emergency numbers of the kids' parents. Having this on hand at your next birthday party gives you time when time isn't something to waste here at all. Grab it here at dianejimenez.com/ICE guest list. All in one word. Print it out and be ready for your next party. So let's cover the first thing. Why do we have so many bags? Well, for one thing, like I said, we forget. And we forget to bring them from our car to the store, or we forget to bring them from our house into our car and then from our car to the store. Oof, that's a lot. Now imagine when we already have a lot going on in our minds and we're doing multiple things at the same time. It's easy to forget. So it's totally normal and it happens more often than we think. Hence, buying more bags. Which brings me to the second part as to why we have so many bags. So in the last few years, I've been observing through family, friends, and clients that oftentimes we just don't know what to do with the bags. There's so much of it, and we often say to ourselves, I might need this later on. The classic answer, and probably the number one reason why we have so many things. And when it comes to bags, yes, you will need it later on, but we can be very strategic and smart about where we place them and when we need them. Another thing we often say to ourselves is we feel bad getting rid of bags. I get it, but there are ways to do this, and I'll talk about that too in a bit. So what does a lot of bags look like? What do I really mean by this? Well, allow me to illustrate. When there are bags upon bags stuffed inside bigger bags, and now because these big bags are overflowing and you're shoving new bags that you just bought in different drawers and closets, even coat pockets, and probably in your car or cars if you have more than one, and you don't want to get rid of any just yet or just because you might need it one day, that's a lot of bags. And not only that, when you actually go through these bags and collecting them from all over the place, then actually lay them out to see where you're at, it almost looks like you have a little gift shop. No, I'm kidding. But when it's taking you more time to organize the bags, or it's hard to contain and hard to maintain, that's when you know you have too many bags. Look, I get it. There is an advantage of having bags. They're there when you need one. Now, the flip side of all of this is, I mentioned before, maintaining it and containing it. But what's more is that you've spent so much money on all these bags. Think about it. How much are these bags anyways? I have no idea. It's been such a long time. But I think the last time they were $1.99 for like a medium-sized bag. And the bigger ones can go up to $5. And I think this is way before the pandemic. So let's do the math on that. How many bags do you have? And multiply that by, say, $2 or let's say even $1. And then add tax. How much is that? Now, going back to the space and energy it takes to maintain all of this, that's a lot. And is it worth it? On top of that, it's all coming from you to deal with. So my advice here is to keep it simple. All right, so now that we know what a lot of bags look like, what do we do now when there's just too much? My answer? Repurpose. And there's so many ways to do this. So for example, I had a client who had so many bags, and on top of that, she had a lot of things that were going out to donate. So we used her extra bags to hold all the donation items and bring to the donation centers. My daughter also uses a dollar store bag to hold her snow pants, extra gloves, and indoor shoes to school because she's now in grade 5 and apparently wearing snow pants to school is just not cool. So she'd rather put everything in one bag and carry that every single day back and forth to school. A final example that I've been doing for so many years is I take the paper bags and use them as recycling bags. And then once that recycling bag is full, I'll recycle the whole thing. So now that we know all of this, How do we answer the question to how many shopping bags do I really need? Well, instead of asking that, how about asking yourself, when do I need them and where do they need to be when I need them? Remember earlier before when I mentioned about being strategic when it comes to having too many bags and what to do about it? Well, this is where developing better habits and being strategic comes in. Put it this way, if you're in the kitchen and you're preparing a salad, let's say, or you're making a sandwich, would it make sense to have the cutting board or your plates in a completely different room or all over the place except for the kitchen? No, it doesn't. So you got to think about, when do you need these shopping bags? For us, we normally need them when we go shopping. So the best place is to keep them in the car. So for instance, we have 2 cars, and in my husband's case, because he's been doing it every single week since the beginning of the pandemic, he's created his own system. In the back of his car, he has a shallow, pretty big Costco box and a pretty sturdy shopping basket, if you want to call it that, but it's got handles and it carries quite a lot of items. Where in my car, it makes sense for me to have several medium bags neatly folded and tucked away in this square compartment in the back of my car. They're easy to grab and they don't fly around as I'm driving all over the place. Also, the reason why I have more bags is oftentimes I'm with the kids and sometimes my mom. So you never know what's going on or whatever it is that we need that's extra. And we need bags for that. Oftentimes my mom too needs to get some groceries, so having those few extra bags helps. Another good place to keep them is at the entrance because you never know what things you need to take out and send to donation centers, or if a kid needs to bring something to someone's house. You have a bag ready there. I also like to keep bags under the sink because whenever we have friends or family over and there's a lot of food, it's so convenient because the bags are right there to help them carry their leftovers. So I hope this quick and short episode is helping you right now or giving you some ideas or perspectives about where you keep your bags and how many you really need. Now, let's do a quick recap, shall we? First off, do an evaluation of all the bags that you have. Collect them all from all over the place. Check in the closets, in the cars, in the drawers, everywhere. If everything is overflowing, overstuffed, or you just have multiple bags, we gotta cut it down. And the way to do this is cut it at the source, meaning stop buying more bags. Next, I know we sometimes forget, but try your hardest and your very best to make it a habit to bring the bags with you on your way to the store. If you forget and have to turn around and walk back to your car, then count this as a positive towards your step goal for today. There's always a silver lining here. Now, in order to set yourself up for success here is to strategically place the bags where you need them most. Keep them nice and neat in your car or at the front entrance, ready to grab when you're ready to go. Finally, what to do with the excess bags you have at home? Repurpose them. Use the paper bags for recycling and anytime you need to transport items out of the house. All right, so before I sign off here, my action for you is to collect all the bags that you have all around the house and lay them out and see what you got. If you've got too much and it's getting out of hand, you know exactly what to do. Place them where you need them and only use what you really need and what can fit in the space that you're keeping them in. So there you have it. I hope this episode was helpful for you. And if you know someone who is in this bag situation, send them the link to this episode via text or even just posting this on social media. I'd so appreciate it. All right, my friends, thank you so much for listening. I will see you again back here next time. Have a wonderful week. Talk soon. Bye-bye.